Good afternoon. I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, where I like to talk about how I've lost 97.4 pounds since starting the ketogenic protocol and how you might be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life. Thank you for allowing me into your Saturday. I hope it's as beautiful where you are as it is here. It's a gorgeous and perfect day. To any of you who might have questions, this is going to be kind of an open forum. And I just did this on Facebook. So if you were there and you asked questions, because the way Facebook Live does, it's hard for me to see the comments and questions. Hope you'll ask them here. Hey, Nancy. Good to see you. Grandmother clock is chiming right on time. Alrighty. So until someone asks a question, I'm just going to vamp a little bit. And not that I'm the holder of all the answers. Not even close. All I can do is share with you my experiences and my observations and what I have learned. I'm fortunate to be friends with some of the most knowledgeable people in the world on the ketogenic protocol. I'm very privileged and honored, and I'm the luckiest person you'll ever meet in your life. So if we ever meet in real life, rub my head or something. So maybe some of my luck will rub off on you. Hey, Julie and Kathy. A quick thing going into this. Major kudos for continuing to help keep us motivated. Thank you very much for saying that. I have cut back on some of the public content because most of my work, as it should do, goes to patrons who at patreon.com, and you can find links below, I produce about 20 videos a month. For $2 a month up, you get 20 videos a month of me without makeup, pre-caffeine, in the morning, and a patron-only forum. And then up from there, patron-only live streams, behind-the-scenes videos, patron-only video group sessions, and one-on-ones. So there you go. Oh, and by the way, 10 seconds. I don't know if this is backwards or not, but this is a postcard. It says, I can and I will. All new and existing $10 patrons are going to get a postcard while supplies last. And then every couple of months, I'm going to send out more postcards that hopefully will be motivating and inspirational and funny. Phrases that we say around Go Keto with Casey, like push the peckishness and food is not the boss of me and things like that. And I'll just send those out to $10 people as long as supplies last. There's my commercial. Okay. Good morning from Utah. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Great card. Thank you, Naja. Yeah, so if you become a patron for $10 or more, or you are a patron at $10 or more, I've been busily sending these out until they run out. Michelle, okay, does anyone have a question for me? It doesn't have to be serious. It doesn't have to be fancy. It can be really basic because we all have to not only learn things, we have to unlearn what we've been told as a population for the last 60 years. So all questions are welcome. You may ask me anything. I don't share my weight, but that's just about the only thing I won't share. And there's a reason for that. I'm happy to tell you why that is. Julie writes, I love your videos. I lost 70 pounds and then stopped and regained 12 pounds and really need motivation to restart again. Congratulations, Julie. And you know what? May I ask you a question? What I like to do when I talk with people, because I do one-on-one coaching and in our group sessions, we talk about this. My theme for the next, what I've been asking myself and other people, let's take a step back. And I would like to ask you, why do you think you stopped? You may not know. Sometimes we just do things, we don't know why we do them. But can you pinpoint why you stopped when something was clearly working? And a few pounds fluctuation is, I'd say 4 or 5 pounds fluctuation is perfectly normal. People freak out about 1 pound. I don't freak out about that. 12 pounds, yeah, something's going on. So, and I'm sorry, I'm 61. I've just gotten old enough where I either need to step way back from the computer like this or put on my readers. Linda writes, good morning. I'm a $5 patron and I've been missing all your snippets these last few months. I must be doing something wrong. Oh, Linda, I'm so sorry. Let me know. No, you should be getting them every day. I've not stopped making them. So message me via Patreon. Sometimes it's as simple as needing to clear your cache on your browser. Hello from Richmond, VA. Jackie Eberstein lives in Richmond. Love her. Okay, Julie writes, I got off track due to stress. Thank you for being transparent. And let me ask you, Julie, and this is not a statement. This is what I ask myself and ask other people. So you got off track due to stress. Did the food that you ate remove the stress? Whatever the stress was. We all have it. And some people, I don't even know how they get through the day. I'm not regarding food. I don't know how they get through the day because what's going on in their lives. But we have job stress, family, financial, just worry of the world. Did any of the food that you put in your mouth correct it or solve any of those issues? Because that's what we need to preload ourselves with going forward. About really the way to deal with stress is before you're feeling it. If you're someone who's going to fall off the deep end when you're stressed, it's almost too late. And I think I said the other day in a video that, people don't drown because they can't swim. They drown because they panic. We need to learn to float. Just float for a minute. Keep our nose above water and float. Don't flail. And stress, when we start eating because of stress, that's the flailing. And we need to take a step back and float. I like this so much better on YouTube than Facebook. I can scroll up and see questions. Jane W. shares, restart. Now you are starting with experience. That's brilliant, Jane. That's brilliant. Yeah, okay, so I need to restart. Now I know more than I did last time. Fantastic. I'm going to adopt that as my own. I'm going to steal your phrase. And no, I will. I will not steal it. What is your opinion on all this fat acceptance? Asks Amy. Very topical question. I'm going to guess from the way you formed the question that you're thinking, okay, if we have fat acceptance or body positivity or the phrases, that it is giving allowance to people who maybe could benefit from making a change in their life to not make the change in their life. My thinking is that I do accept other people's situation. Some people are comfortable in their skin, in their space, no matter what their size. They love themselves no matter what. I was not one of those people. I was not happy with myself. It was not the world's opinion of me that made me unhappy. Although I know that there were people who thought that I lost IQ points for every 20 pounds of overweight. That didn't bother me because I'm pretty comfortable in my intellect. I know I'm comfortable in my brain, in my intellect. I was not comfortable in my space. When I see folks who are larger, I think none the less of them. I just think, man, if you asked me, if someone said to me, I'm not happy with who I am, what should I do? I would honestly and happily share. But yeah, why should we not accept people who are happy? If people are unhappy with themselves, no matter what we think of them, it doesn't matter. The change must come from here, from within. The change has to start with the person making the change. Browbeating someone, not accepting them for who they are. This is where eating disorders come from. Or sometimes, it's not, that's too broad a statement. Eating disorders are multifaceted and multi-layered. But it's not my place to judge anybody about anything. I don't get a vote on what people eat. I don't get a vote on what clothes they wear. I don't get a vote on anything. So I try to accept people for what they are. Some people I just don't like, not because of their size, but because of their personalities. It's not that I don't accept them. I just don't hang with them. But I never want to not accept someone because of their size. We don't know what's going on in their lives. We have no clue. There are too many people whose body size is armor because of trauma. So I know there's a big controversy. I think, was it Bill Maher and somebody else said, we should fat shame. That way maybe they'll stop eating. It's not going to work. Listen, we all grew up with fat shaming. Did it work? Did it work? Does it work? No, it doesn't work. You know what works? Cut out the carbs. But we can't tell anybody else how they should feel about their bodies. Financial stress. My daughter decided to go vegan. Okay, are those two statements unrelated? Okay, thank you. Nancy Nerney writes, I need a keto friend in Rhode Island. Okay, any Rhode Islanders there? Keto and thyroid health. Are you asking, will following the ketogenic diet do harm to one's thyroid? No. Actually, this question comes up a lot. And I did talk about it on Facebook. You can hear noise in the background. My lovely mate just walked in, and our beautiful dog, Jack, is so happy to see him. Uh-oh. And so he's happy. Hyperthyroid, hypothyroid, no thyroid, no gallbladder, no problem. So depending on your level of medication, just walked in with some onions from our own garden. Yay. Everyone's situation is a little different. But we can tend to think that our situation, we are a special snowflake. Hold on, please. I'm going to let my husband pass. Not that he does not deserve to be on camera, but he did not sign up for this when I started Go Keto with Casey. So I like to respect his privacy, although many of you have met him in real life. Actually, I think you're good, babe. There we go. As far as I know, and this question has come up. I moderate the Durham support group meetings with Dr. Eric Westman every month. And the question has come up, and he says, no, there's no medical condition that is contraindicated for the ketogenic protocol. And as a matter of fact, some people are able to reduce their thyroid medication and their blood pressure medication and their antidepressants and their acid reflux medications. Oh dear. Okay, Julie. Woo. Green Tree writes, Casey, what about calories? Should we eat fewer on keto? I tend to eat more than what I need. I like feeling stuffed. Would you share your thoughts on that? What usually does happen, and the reason this works, because people will say, oh, it's just another fad. Isn't it just, if you just move more, eat less, just need to consume fewer calories. And if you consume fewer calories on any protocol, it'll work. Yeah, pretty much. Go live on a desert island and you'll probably lose weight because you will consume fewer calories. My lovely mate. The difference with this is when you start burning fat for fuel, when you're following the protocol, and for those of you who don't know, and not everyone does, the protocol as I learned it and as I have followed it, you take in 20 grams of carbohydrate a day or fewer, total carbs, not net. Eat fatty sources of protein. Don't eat if you're not hungry, which is exactly what you're talking about here. And stop when you're satiated, which is also what you're talking about. When you do that, you start burning fat for fuel, as opposed to burning glucose for fuel, glucose being sugar. Your appetite is naturally suppressed. not just your hunger, your appetite. Like I'm empty. I have not had solid food today. I've just been busy since the time I got up. And that's fine. I'm not, but I actually don't even have an appetite right now. I know I'm empty. I don't remember when I ate yesterday, what I ate. But appetite is suppressed, so you naturally consume less fuel. I try to get away from the word calories. I call the M word macros. I call them the M word because I don't even like to talk about them. Not part of the protocol. I can't really say the C word because that has a whole different connotation. But I try to get away from using calories because it's very charged, that word. So I call it fuel. So, green tree. If you like feeling stuffed, that is something that you need to figure out for yourself. I do not like feeling stuffed. I like feeling a little light. And frankly, stopping when satiated does not mean stopping when full. It means and slowing down. Our friend Helena from Patreon has implemented the mid-meal break. Her plate of fuel, halfway through, she stops eating, does something, checks email, throws a load of laundry in. Right? She's getting ready to move right now, so she's packing. Comes back, and sometimes, after 5 minutes, I don't need the rest of that. Packs it away for the next time she's going to eat. Leptin is a hormone. It's the satiety hormone. Leptin tells our brain, you've had enough, stop eating. But it can take a few minutes for that signal to reach the brain. If it takes 10 minutes for that signal to reach the brain, but you've eaten an entire mound of food in 8 minutes, then you're stuffed. Louise Chevrefil, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Hi, Casey. I'm still on keto, but sometimes what can we do about those darn plateaus? I can feel a difference in my clothes, but on the scale, no fluctuations even. Okay, thank you for that question, Louise. Losing inches without losing ounces is 100% a thing, and that is not a plateau. A plateau, per Dr. Westman, is when you have lost no ounces and no inches or portions of an inch in at least 4 weeks. Many of the people with whom I speak, and in our Patreon group, this has come up many times. There's one woman, she's a nurse. She can predict when she's going to have a move on the scale because her scrubs, which had been tightish, are now loose. Scale doesn't move. And then within a couple of weeks, scale moves. She gets the next lower size of scrubs. Same thing happens. Our bodies remodel. There is a reason that this happens. It is not it's not a gimmick and it's not a myth. It happens. Think of it this way. Our body is made up of all these cells. The fat cells were there, and we've been mobilizing fat for fuel. So the fat cells, the fat is released along with a lot of other things, including triglyceride and hormones and things. But so there you've got, look at it as an empty baggie, this little cell. Well, nature abhors a vacuum. Plus, for many of us, we've been through this many times where we have depleted our fat cells and then we filled them right back up with fat. Well, nature abhors a vacuum, so it fills that, this is way too simplistic, but it fills that baggie up with water. Water goes in there. Water can take up the same amount of space. No, excuse me. Water can weigh the same as the fat, but it takes up less space. And then after a while, body says, you know what? I guess the fat's not coming back. Casey really meant it this time. Whoosh, releases, says, thank you, water. You've done your job. Releases it. So hang in there. Keep doing what you're doing, Louise. Hey, Kana. Oh, hi, Casey. I was in a car accident, having stayed keto, dealing with being injured, down, housebound. Oh, Kana, I'm so, Cami. It's Cami, isn't it? I mispronounced it. I apologize. I'm sorry that you've gone through that, but you know what? Food will not make you heal faster. As a matter of fact, you may heal faster remaining keto. Just keep that in mind. There's no way to really tell, but keep it in mind. Okay, and heal quickly. Mary writes, yes, I use my body as armor, but I want to change. And change is possible. Yes, I can. I can and I will. I can and I will. We need to remind ourselves, the words we say, the words we hear from other people are impactful. The words we say to ourselves, even more so. Michelle Roberts writes, hi from Saxonburg, Pennsylvania. Thank you for your inspiring no nonsense content. I find myself hearing your voice in my head. You're most kind. My husband hears my voice all the time. I'm not sure it's actually what he would have voted for, but it's the tax he pays for being married to me. Lori Morse, hey, Lori, hypothyroid and 55. Carnivore is working. Great. Hey, Nancy Hansen. Oh, I have to move. Utility drawer. Let me tell you what my husband's making. Cheese crackers. Okay, you get American cheese, not cheese product, American cheese. He slices it into 9 squares each, and he does 2 slices because he can tolerate it. Put it on parchment paper. Pop it in the microwave for how long, babe?
65 seconds.
65 seconds in our microwave. They puff up, you let them cool for a second, and they become crisp, and they are very affordable. So that's American cheese, cut into little squares, 65 seconds on parchment paper in the microwave. Dr. Westman is a saint. You know what? He's just as nice in person as he appears to be when you see him. He's no pushover. He's just really nice, and he really wants to spread the word on this. He's in Ottawa, Canada right now, I think, at a conference. By the way, there will be Dr. Westman's Keto Retreat in Beaufort, North Carolina in January 2020 at the Beaufort Hotel. I will be presenting, as will Amy Berger, Dr. Westman, Jackie Eberstein, Christy Sullivan, probably a couple of other MDs. The final details are still being worked out, but it's going to be the first of, we hope, many. It'll be a little bit more intimate than some of the conferences that are great, but very, very large. And before and after, attendees' stories. Shell writes, good morning, Casey. No question. Just wanted to say, hey, Shell. Nancy writes, the word keto is everywhere, but most of those people are not doing keto properly. It is the truth. And I shared on the patron group session, my daughter, I'm going to see if I can do this. My daughter texted me a photo a couple of days ago. She lives in Portland, Oregon, and she's doing keto. And her gentleman friend started doing it in support of her, and he's doing it. And they're both doing great. This is what we have to be careful of, y'all. No joke. Okay, let me see if I can. You see this? It's Slim Fast Keto Bars. Okay. And all she wrote was LOL, 15 grams per bar. Anyone can, if a food product has the word keto on it, I would avoid it. Here's what you need to eat: beef, lamb, poultry, seafood, bacon, sausage. Get the link below to Dr. Westman's official page 4. He's actually copyrighted it now because there were just fake versions of it everywhere. It's a link below. You can get it. Nowhere on there are bars or shakes or MCT oil or coconut oil other than sauteing. So yeah, run away from those products that say, oh, honey, can I show those? Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll just take one.
No,
Nope. Okay, you guys. Cheese crackers. 65 seconds in our microwave. American cheese. And they are really crunchy and puffy. Okay. There you go. Live TV. Okay, Julie, and I'm here. Food is not the boss of us. That'll be on one of the postcards. Food is not the boss of me. Julie asks, so what do you suggest for the loose skin? It's embarrassing and not great for my already low self-esteem. I felt very good about losing the 70 pounds, but the image in the mirror was unflattering. I still struggle with how I look. I am happy to say that my skin is not as, it came out differently than I would have expected. If someone said, you're going to lose about 100 pounds. I said, well, I better start saving up for some skin removal surgery. For whatever reason, genetics, I'm just pretty sure it's genetics. My skin has rebounded, or maybe it's because I lost in a normal gradual pace. 47 pounds the first year, 2 more years to lose the subsequent 50 pounds. We have to, and this is what I have to do. It's ironic that for someone who I had a severe emotional reaction to photographs of myself. I mean, really bad. I had chronic clinical depression, and very often, if I saw an image or a reflection of myself, it would trigger the depression. And sometimes it came out of nowhere. I don't know why it caused. But it's ironic that now I'm always in front of a camera of some sort. I just have to not look at myself. But I also had to have a conversation with myself about, what do I care? My self-image is my image. My husband loves me. My friends who are my friends couldn't care less. My children, they're oblivious. What are they? They're living their lives. So what am I trying to be? Who am I trying to be? I'm 61 freaking years old. I've had 3 children. Our second child was 10 pounds. I've had cancer 3 times. I'm cut up and diced around. I've had essentially all of my female parts removed. I had hip-to-hip surgery when I was 30 to remove parts of me. The answer is we need to learn to be okay with who we are. Going back to the question of fat acceptance, how about just self-acceptance? How about we just accept ourselves? And I'm saying this as someone who, I was in tears 2 weeks ago. I almost became dehydrated. I cried so hard. I was unprepared to see a series of photographs of myself that I hired someone to make. I thought I was past it. I wasn't. I became so upset. I just cried and cried and cried. So I've had to decide that whether it's irrational, whether I'm literally, my brain is misinterpreting the images, I have to, at the core of it, I have to step back and say, I have got to be okay with myself. I like myself in general. I'm smart. I'm not the sweetest person in the world. I mean, there's people so much nicer than I. And thank goodness for them. But what do I care about crepey skin and jiggly thighs? Who am I trying to impress? And frankly, not that many people are going to see my jiggly thighs. And ain't nobody going to see my belly except for my husband. And he's okay with it. So what do I suggest for the loose skin? Well, if it really bothers you, investigate surgery. But maybe the better answer is, who cares? Nice taut skin and weigh 100 pounds more, or loose skin and weigh 100 pounds less. Choose your thing. Mona Tufan writes, I was on a trip in Belgrade last week. Meat in Serbia is excellent because of the nature of the Balkans. I gained 1 kilogram, although I was sticking to the program. Maybe I ate too much meat. Can meat do that? Oh yeah, you can overconsume fuel. Remember, the protocol is don't eat if you're not hungry and stop when you're satiated. Ultimately, energy intake matters. Ultimately, it just does. If you stop when you're satiated, don't eat if you're not hungry, it tends to be self-regulating. But that's the hardest part of this, at least it was for me. The food is easy. It's easy. It's that not eating if you're not hungry. It's that not telling ourselves that I'm coping. I use food to cope. No, we use food to not cope. We, by definition, are using food to not cope, to not deal, to kick the issue down the road. because food is not going to make your boss like you. Food is not going to make your partner faithful. Food is not going to balance your checkbook. Food is not going to make your children remember to call you. I'm making these things up. I always want to go to shoplifting for some reason. I don't know. In another life, I must have been a shoplifter. Food is not going to cure your compulsion to shoplift. But yeah, we can overconsume food because we should not be eating if we're not hungry. And we should stop when we're satiated. And a kilogram is nothing. As Zoe Harkin would say, that's just one good going to the toilet. No products needed, writes Shell. Luckily, keto people are smart. That's what the fat does to the brain. Okay. Granso B. What do you say to people that tell you you're skinny enough? Why people feel like they get a vote? I don't know. But you say, well, thank you. And then you don't owe them an explanation. If you want to lose more weight, lose more weight. People generally start saying that when they really feel like you're making them look fat. That's their problem. You know, we want to look better than the people we are around. See, I'm not a nice person. I want to look better than the people I'm around. And when they start feeling like, oh, wow, Granso B, she is so thin that she's making me look fat. That's their problem. See, I'm not a nice person. Okay, my doctor said I was lucky to be, ruptured appendix, unknown to me. 5 days prior to surgery, I had been fasting because of the pain. I had no idea because I wasn't throwing up and had no fever. Nick the Rooster, does fat weigh more than muscle? No, fat does not weigh more than muscle. Nick the Rooster. A pound of anything is the same as a pound of anything else. Muscle takes up less space than fat. So think of it this way. An ounce of lead takes up this much space, I'm just saying. An ounce of feathers takes up this much space. So there you go. Lori writes, I saw some friends recently that haven't seen me in a long time, lost 40 pounds so far, and they couldn't believe it. Thank you, Dr. Berg, Dr. Westman, now Dr. Ken Berry, for my new life. Muscle takes up less space. Yes, Shell. Nancy Hansen writes, there is a big difference between total carbs and net carbs. Total carbs is the way to go. Can I tell you, eating net carbs, it just means eating more carbs. That's all it is. You know, I know you subtract out the fiber. Fiber cannot be absorbed. That's not proved. And it certainly would not be the same for all foods. It's just eating more carbs. And some people can do that. Some people can tolerate more carbs. I am not one of them. Nick the Rooster. Okay, thanks. Got my kitties on keto. Ha ha. Okay, I'm going to start to wrap up. Does anyone have any other parting shots or questions? I do want to say again, thank you to patrons who they're fantastic. And it's a great community, a lot of cumulative knowledge. And check out the Go Keto with Casey cruise. It's going to be great. There are people looking for stateroom mates. So because if you are familiar with cruises, they charge by the stateroom double occupancy. So if you travel by yourself, you're paying for the entire stateroom, which will cost double. So there are people looking for stateroom mates. And if you have friends that want to go on keto, that's cool too. We've got some groups that are coming. They're going to get the group benefits, but you don't have to be keto. Thank you, Nancy. Okay, 2.5 years on keto and still learning what hunger really is and not eating according to the clock. This is a big deal for a lot of people. It takes practice. You know, we have to unlearn things that we've been told repeatedly for 60 years. All right, friends, keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day, total, not net. Do not eat if you're not hungry, no matter what the clock says. Eat if you are hungry, no matter what the clock says. Stop when you're satiated. Be kind to yourself. And check out the links below for page 4, Alaska Cruise, Patreon, and all that good stuff. See you next time.